Time now for your forewarned weather with Cedric Haynes.
Hey, happy Monday, Utah. Hopefully your week is off to a great start so far. It's early, but I hope you're going to have a great week out there. And we're looking at some great weather this week. That's at least going to be some good news. Let me show you the live view from the ABC4 studios. A beautiful clear sky as we await the sun coming on up. You know, the sunrise this morning is just after 7 o'clock. But by the time we get towards tomorrow, the sunrise will be just before 7 o'clock. And it will be also the first sunset that will occur at 8 o'clock or beyond. So get ready for some nice longer days out there. 42 degrees currently outside of the studios here in Salt Lake City. Now, so look at some of the other numbers across the area. Most of the Wasatch Front kicking off the day in the low 40s. We do have some low 30s, though, up in the Cache Valley. Temperatures are in the 20s and 30s from the Wasatch back over towards the Uintas. Castle Country in the low 30s. Same story for our friends over towards the West Desert. And we've got temperatures dropping into the upper 40s. Even around St. George this morning. So to look at the weather map across the state, you can see it's fairly quiet out there as we had high pressure really holding on to the weather, creating a very nice weekend, but that high pressure is beginning to slide away. And you notice some of those high clouds beginning to build in from the west over Nevada. So even though high pressure is in control right now, that's going to block any moisture from trying to stream in as we go throughout today. But as that cold front moves through later on this evening and tonight, we'll see an increase in clouds and maybe a slight chance of a spotty shower, primarily north of I-80. Let me show you how that all plays out with Futurecast. As we look at the weather map, we're quiet again as we go throughout most of your day with not much in the way of any activity out there. But notice a few of these high clouds as we get into this afternoon building in from the west. Again, we'll call it mostly sunny skies, but they're not going to produce any precipitation, at least through the afternoon. Now, as we get into the evening hours, that's when we're going to start to introduce at least a very slight chance of a spotty shower or sprinkle. Notice what we're talking about, though, primarily north of the I-80 corridor. So if you're south of that, not expecting much, but tonight we could see a spotty shower at any point in time coming through north of I-80. And then as we go into your Tuesday, we may slide that down to a spotty shower chance across areas along and north of I-70. So again, a slight chance of a shower as we go throughout the day, Tuesday and tonight as well. But it's not going to be a lot of rainfall that's going to be out there. And then by the time we get towards your Wednesday, high pressure builds in, and you can almost see the big ridge blocking anything from moving in. So as we look at upper level Futurecast, this high pressure brings in the milder weather for us as we go throughout today. But this quick moving front brings us a slight cooling trend. Again, primarily north of I-80 there as we go throughout your Tuesday and the Wednesday. But here we go. The big ridge builds in as we get towards the end of the week. We've been talking about this thing now for several days. It goes all the way up into Canada. That's going to mean some very warm conditions. And by Friday, as it slides to the east, we get that southwesterly flow. And I think that's going to provide us with the warmest day of the week as we go towards the area. And then a cooler trough may try to move in briefly as we get towards the second half of the weekend. But even with that, above average temperatures look likely on average through the middle of the month of April. Along with that, we're looking at pretty much very dry conditions as we look to remain well below average when it comes to precipitation. In fact, I really don't see much in the way of precipitation chances here, or at least over the next 7, if not 10 days across the Beehive State. Along southwest Utah, we're warming up into the upper 70s to near 80. Should be a very nice day with a few of those afternoon high clouds building in. The Wasatch Front, we go from the low 40s into the low 60s to the low 70s by the afternoon. Again, with those high clouds building in, but not a bad day at all. In fact, take a look at some of these temperatures in your neighborhood. 66 in Logan today. How about 59 for our friends in Park City? 69 degrees in Provo. And 73 degrees expected in Moab. So currently, I do want to let you know that tree pollen, it's a problem out there. Medium to high category for across the entire state. We're talking the elm, the poplar, and the oak trees. That's really causing the issues right now. And we stay in that moderate to high category throughout the next several days. St. George, upper 70s to low 80s. And look at the 90s. Yeah, they arrive by the end of the work week. Get ready, folks. It's going to be heating up. The Wasatch Front, a brief front will bring us down a little bit for your Tuesday and the Wednesday, and then we're right back up to near 80 by the end of the week.